Hello, my name is Alex Murphy, and I am a Doctor Who scarf knitter, and I'm here today to give you a tutorial on the Season 18 Doctor Who scarf. I figured that now would probably be the best time to do it, since I am currently in the very unique position of having the opportunity to knit a replica in the original chenille that the TV scarf was made from. A friend of mine has been collecting it for 30 years and does not knit, so I am knitting a replica for him in the original yarns. And I figured that if I'm going to make any tutorials on the Season 18 scarf, that now would be the time. So today's tutorial involves the single row sequences. This was one of the last changes made to the pattern on DoctorWhoScarf.com before it was 100% verified. So the Season 18 scarf pattern is actually 3 segments of blocks that are roughly the same size. The first sequence goes, and then the second sequence is the same, but the red and the purple are flipped. The red blocks are now purple blocks, and so on. And then on the third one, it's the first sequence again. And each of those sequences, right towards the end, not quite at the end, but right towards the end, is a sequence where all 3 colors interchange. And originally, it was thought that those were single ribs that alternated, but they're not. Turns out that they are rows. It's one pass of the yarn in each color. And since that was changed, there's been a lot of confusion, and I know that I've been asked many times about how to do the single row passes without breaking your yarn, because, let's face it, it's 3 rows 8 times, and if you had to break your yarn each time, that would be a nightmare. So I've been asked a lot on how to do that, so that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. Alright, so I'm at the first interchange here. See, here's my block of 42 red. So here I am right up at the start of the first sequence. So here I am, I'm knitting my purple block, my 10 rows of purple. This chenille picks up fuzz like a demon. I don't know how to keep it clean. So here I am with my 10 rows of purple, all knitted. The first color in the interchange block is red, or burgundy. So I'm going to take my burgundy yarn, and I'm going to get it ready. This is actually really simple. And once you get the hang of it, you're going to go, oh, well, obviously. Here's your red yarn. Here's your burgundy, which is our next color. And you're just going to knit it all together. Just knit it through one full pass like you normally would if you were just starting a new block. Alright, get to the end here. And then I'm actually slipping the last stitch of this with the chenille because it's non-elastic. It doesn't try to pull back into its old shape the way that regular wool does. And when you don't slip the last stitch, there's just a lot of excess here, and it makes it really bumpy. And even though once you crochet the border on, it really won't be noticeable, I feel more comfortable slipping the edge. So that's what I'm doing. So here I am, I'm at the end. That's my first single row pass. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our second yarn, which is our rust. Here we go. We're going to flip our work around like we normally would. We're going to put our burgundy yarn on the side, and we are going to take our rust end, put it on, leave ourselves a nice tail, and then you're just going to knit all the way back like normal. Alright, here we are, slip the last stitch. It's kind of loose because that's where I started the red, so. Okay, so now I've done 2 single row passes. I've done my burgundy and I've done my rust. So, this is where people start to get hung up. You're going to turn your work around again. Now you have all 3 yarns sitting on the scarf in use. All 3 yarns are working yarns. try to just be careful that you don't get your yarns all mixed up here like I have, because it's kind of obnoxious. Okay. Now people get confused, but this is where it really does actually sort of make sense that they would have done it this way as opposed to any other way. Because now we are here, we've done burgundy and rust. The next color to do is purple. And you'll notice that your purple yarn is waiting here from the block of 10 that you've already knitted. It's just sitting here waiting to be knitted up. All that you're going to do is just pick it up like normal and continue knitting. It's already waiting for you. It's right there. Knit one row. So there we go. Now we have one pass of each color on here. If you look at the working yarns and where they are coming off of the scarf in relation to where your next color needs to come from, you will always find, because you have an odd number here, that the next color that you need to use is coming off of the side that you need it to be on. For example, here's my rust tail, but not the rust yarn. So what yarn do you think you're going to need to use next? Your burgundy, which you'll find is right there waiting for you. So you're just going to turn your work around, move your yarns, you're going to pick up your burgundy yarn right there, and you're just going to keep knitting as normal. Every time that you get to the end of a single row, you will find the next color that you need waiting for you because you're using an odd number of yarns. It's that easy. So also try to be aware as you're knitting of how your yarns are crossing each other. My next color here is the red. You see, here's my purple tail, which I just ended, and it's crossing it really awkwardly. If you can notice this, I mean, it's really not going to be that big of a deal because you're going to crochet through it anyways. But if you at all can, try to be aware of when that happens and just untangle your yarns. This should be able to just fall loosely, and this should be able to wrap around uninhibited. So, something to be aware of as you're knitting through. Alright, so there I've now completed 24 rows of these single passes. Once you've completed it, you'll see the next block, 10 rows of burgundy. And guess what color is waiting for you? Burgundy. So you're just going to pick this up from right here and knit your 10 rows. Your other 2 yarns you can cut. Try to leave a tail of about 6 inches or more. There's that, and you'll notice that when you're done, let me cut my rust yarn here, my orange yarn. That's about good. Great, you'll notice when you're done that you'll have 2 tails on the wrong side of the scarf. So here's 2 rust tails. here that poke out on this side. All the rest of the tails on the entire scarf are all sitting on this side. And that is just because of the nature of the single passes. So you'll know also that you've done it right if you see this and your next color waiting for you is the burgundy. And from there you'll just continue knitting. And congratulations, because now you've passed one of the major milestones on knitting the scarf. You've gotten through most of at least one of the sections. If you're in the middle section, then 2 of them. And if you're doing the last one, I recommend casting off in purple and you're done. So that's how you do it. And you never see, you'll notice here, I never broke my yarn. So the edges just carry all the way up on both sides. Didn't cut anything until the very end. It's really, really simple. Happy knitting.